Well, look, we clearly need to do a lot more when it comes to housing. Let me be absolutely crystal clear on that. I heard that the length and breadth of the country during the general election, and even people who voted for my own party, they did so in telling us do more and do better when it comes to housing. I think it's really important to acknowledge that renters in Ireland already often feel insecure and already often feel extremely overburdened in terms of the cost of rent. And I think it's very important that government doesn't develop policy on the hoof in relation to this. It's important that everything is considered in the round. The programme for government does commit to a review of the rent pressure zones, but I would make the point that my own party, Fine Gael, in our manifesto did commit to retaining the RPZs, and that gives you an insight into where my views and the views of Fine Gael are at in relation to this. For me to be convinced of any changes, I'd need to know that renters are going to be protected, that renters are going to be more secure, and that any measures we take are actually going to result in more properties being available. I do think we'll have the first Cabinet Committee on Housing of the new government will take place on Monday. I think that's a really important opportunity to press, I suppose, reset on a number of aspects to do with housing. I think we need to see much greater detail in terms of the construction workforce. How are we going to have enough people to build homes? We did good work, I think, in the last government on a new national planning framework. How do we now turbocharge that so we have enough zoned land? And crucially, as we plan to spend more money on things like water, Uisce Éireann, how do we make sure that frees up more sites to build more homes? The figures last year were very disappointing, and we now, I think people right across the country, most particularly renters and those looking to buy homes, are looking to government to know how we're going to do better in the months ahead.
Is that how it's not time for the rent pressure zones?
No, the Taoiseach and I agree, because we agreed the programme for government, that there will be a review of rent pressure zones. I'm telling you my view is that, one, I think that needs to be very careful. And I don't believe anybody in government in any way meant this, but what we can't do is withdraw much needed supports and safeguards for renters at a time they already feel insecure. And I think what we have to have is the conversation the other way around. How do we make renters feel more secure? How do we protect renters? And crucially, how do we get more supply to rent and buy? And I'd start there rather than the issue of rent pressure zones being taken away.